everyone, my name is Gabriel Hood and welcome to a special video. Today I'm going to compare and contrast two thriller movies. The Fugitive starring Harrison Ford and Out of Time starring Denzel Washington. Let's get started, shall we? The first thing we're going to compare and contrast is plot structure. As both films feature a protagonist that has been framed for a crime that they did not commit and must race against time to clear their name. The Fugitive immediately introduces the situation, while with Out of Time there is a 45-minute build-up to the situation as it slowly unfolds. In that regard, I have to go with Out of Time because with that 45-minute build-up, it allows you to get to know the characters, spend time with them, especially as you learn their motivation behind everything as the situation slowly unfolds. Another question is, which character did you root for the most? Let's see. Harrison Ford's character in The Fugitive, Dr. Richard Kimball, a respected vascular surgeon, was framed for the murder of his wife and wrongfully convicted and sentenced to death for it. While Matt Lee Whitlock, who's chief of police, was secretly having an affair with his high school sweetheart who presumably died in the arson that he's called to investigate. And he must stay one step ahead of his own detectives because all the evidence pointed to him. In that regard, I'll have to go with Dr. Richard Kimball because in the momentary flashbacks between him and his wife, it was clear that he loved her and he was faithful. And when she was murdered, he was wrongfully convicted and sentenced to death for it. Not only was he fighting to prove his innocence, reclaim his life, but also to defend his wife's honor. While Matt's predicament was the result of his many bad judgment calls. The biggest thing to compare and contrast is the social context behind the situations. In The Fugitive, Dr. Richard Kimball had investigated a prescription drug named Provasic, and he found out it was causing liver damage, and therefore it would not be approved by the FDA. Trouble is, one colleague of his falsified the reports and plotted to have him killed. So when his wife was murdered and he was wrongfully convicted, it almost guaranteed that the bad guys would get away with their crime until Richard Kimball took matters into his own hands, and even the U.S. Marshal chasing after him discovered the truth for himself and began to take his side. While in Out of Time, Matt Lee Whitlock was secretly having an affair with his high school sweetheart, Anne Marie Harrison, and he takes drug money out of his evidence locker, which he had confiscated in the drug bust, to give to Anne so she could pay for her cancer treatment, or so he's told, only for him to be backstabbed as he discovers that not only did she not have cancer, but the doctor that diagnosed her was an imposter. And it was very convenient for him to be the logical suspect since she named him the beneficiary of her insurance policy to the tune of $1 million. And also since one eyewitness, who was a white woman, saw him at the scene of the crime before it happened, and the filmmakers seemingly addressed this jokingly regarding the stereotype of black men being criminals. Another thing that made his day very unlucky regarding this is his soon-to-be ex-wife Alex was also called in to investigate this crime. So in that regard, it pits two very beautiful women against each other, with Alex, his wife, and Anne Marie Harrison, his mistress, and another, and that's even more unsettling considering that in Out of Time, the hero and the primary villain are black. So with his high school sweetheart Anne Marie Harrison being revealed as the villain of the piece, like, it's a little uncomfortable because oftentimes when it comes to representation in film, black women get the worst of it. They're portrayed as all sorts of stereotypes. They're overly sexualized. They're seen as the enemy to black men, even though historically they have been consistently loyal, especially in dark times in American history. And in my previous review of Save the Last Dance, that was on clear display. That to prop up the white female protagonist in that movie, they have one righteous black man as her love interest, and almost every black female character as the enemy. So that was unsettling. And another thing to compare and contrast is action and suspense. Now The Fugitive has equal parts both action and suspense, while Out of Time relies mainly on suspense with some brief action thrown in so that the audience wouldn't lose interest. So in that regard, I'll go with The Fugitive. Now, in case you missed it, in regards to social context behind the situation, I find a lot of relatability with Out of Time social context because like I said before, entertainment reflects on power structures in our society. And last but not least, the quality of both films. Now, of course, Denzel Washington can elevate any film. Even B grade level guilty pleasures. But The Fugitive is overall the better film because it's an ensemble piece. It has an ensemble cast. It has impressive action sequences, nail-biting suspense, comic relief, dramatic moments, everything. Hope you enjoyed this video. As we close out the month of January, move to February, which is the month of love. See you later.